What's up? This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. This is going to be a little different this week for my podcast. I'm currently in Salida, Colorado, with some of my best friends that I've known for a combined 122 years. We did the math, thanks to Trey's calculator. So it's four of my really good friends. I've got Hans Plum, Brian Tate, BJ Fuhrhelm, and Trey Wentz. And I know usually my podcast I talk sports, then I go on a break, and then I talk a little life stuff. We're going to kind of just combine all of that. There will be a break in the middle eventually, but for right now, we're just going to get into it. And also, this is my first technically an interview. I can't talk. But my first interview that I'm going to try to do as I'm trying to figure this out. So let's just get into it. Who do I start with? What's the first question? Topic-wise, we're going to go sports. Okay?
Love it.
Okay?
It's always been my forte.
And so the way this is going to work, instead of like a one-on-one interview, it's going to be a roundtable interview. So everyone can chime in however they want, whenever they want. And we're just going to get into some stories and some life lessons this way instead of my normal format. So thanks for listening. Let's dive into some sports stuff. First off, so we've known each other, all of us have known each other for a really long time. Football, through basketball, baseball. Any other sports we played together?
Soccer.
Soccer. Is that it?
Track.
Okay.
A handful of intramural sports.
True. Through college a little bit.
Does Can Jam count as a sport?
Can Jam does count. We played plenty of that. Billiards, which we're horrible at, except for Trey. So
means a lot.
No problem. So with this, no one else is talking. It's fine. You can talk all you want, Trey. So with sports, we've all played sports. We've all played team sports. Some of us have played individual sports. So the first question I want to throw out there, just to get right into it, is what is the most humbling or most difficult sports memory that you have? What humbled you when you thought maybe you were great or something that really put you in your place?
Hans, did you ever experience humility?
I don't know.
Sports?
I did. You folks at home are laughing at that, but it's actually a great question for our high school experience.
For two reasons.
One funny story about Hans and humbling experience.
Wait. First off, I want to know your humbling experience. We're not going to talk
No,
about
this
other
is.
people.
This is.
Okay.
It has to do with him. So you probably can tell it better than I did. He was a little fired up, and as the quarterback. So it's offensive line, which was myself and Luke Ross, who's not here, and one other guy. We were like, okay, we're just going to let him through because he's getting way too cocky, and we're going to let him get sacked.
Does not sound like me.
We're going to just hopefully he gets hit and knock some sense into him. So we do it, right? 90 yards later, he was in the end zone. So it's just like, okay, obviously that was stupid on our part. We shouldn't do that because he's just going to spit on our face and do what he did. But then thinking about it afterwards, it's like, what if he would have gotten hurt? What if something would have happened bad?
The story took a positive turn that I did not see coming.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So at that point, it's like, okay, no more nonsense. Like, we can't do that type thing. So that was humbling.
I feel like you're reliving the Varsity Blues movie, except instead of a season-ending knee injury, Hans scampers 90 yards to say, fine, I'll do this on my own.
Yeah, that's what they got that from.
Oh.
I assume it was written about. Yeah.
I'll go with the basketball season of my sophomore year. Basketball was kind of the sport that I latched onto as mine, and had the opportunity to play freshman ball with the rest of you guys and the people in our graduating class. But then sophomore year was our first opportunity to really try for a spot on the varsity. Did what I thought I needed to do. Had a good tryout. Was actually the last one called in to the office and told that they were going to only take one sophomore, and it was not me. And so that was a very, very humbling experience to have to fight back from, but taught me a little bit, and we'll get to that a little bit later, I'm sure. But a very humbling moment in my basketball career I felt like Michael Jordan getting cut my sophomore year. It's very comparable.
Yeah, no, it's basically the same story.
You're welcome.
Yeah, similar.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, can I play a song?
Good grief. Let's see here. Trey, do you have any humbling sports stories?
100% of my sports stories are rooted in humility. If this was this would be really helpful if this was a video podcast because you could see my size as compared to everyone else around this table.
I'm big bone, Trey. Leave me alone.
No, you're beautiful and big boned, all those things. I'm slight of build and not a great athlete. And I grew up in central Oklahoma where nobody cares about sports.
Yeah.
So I did things like try to run track and run the mile. And I think I remember my good buddy Hans giving me some words of wisdom right before the race started. And I said, listen, I've never run coaches put me in. I'm running the mile. I don't know how this is going to go. And Hans just said, listen, just don't come in last. It's going to be fine. And I said, well, I'm not going to come in last. I'm just wearing
It's reasonable advice.
It was sage and reasonable advice. And the gun goes off and I start running. Side note, pretty serious asthmatic. I believe I ran with my inhaler in hand, squirting it as we...
Fact.
Yeah. Not only did I come in last, by the first lap, I was in dead last. The winner had lapped me. The very last lap, literally everybody is off of the track and they're setting up hurdles for the next race. And Hans is running alongside the track, yelling in my ear, hurry, Trey, they're gaining on you. They're gaining on you. But there's nobody else on the track. So I would say that's a pretty good synopsis of my entire sporting career.
I don't know why you guys are even friends with me.
Let me interject real quick on my basketball story. The one sophomore that made varsity was also Hans Plum. Factual statement. You've ruined our lives, Hans. Our sports worlds have declined because of you. That's not true. It's not true, Hans.
Yet here we are.
Hans, tell us a story.
And yeah, I was going to say, here we are 25 years later hanging out.
Yeah.
Really ruined our friendships and everything else.
Devastated what we had built.
Man.
I mean, it can be, this is a tough one, right? It can be if there was a loss in a game, if there was just some kind of experience, because I think we all have them.
From the coaching side, when I coached football, when I coached at a university, it was the first year of a new head coach, and the team had been down for quite a while. We won 2 games that season, and that makes for a really, really long season. So kind of my first taste of rebuilding something, and that was I'll tell you though, those 2 victories were the sweetest victories probably of all time. Mm-hmm. But it was definitely humbling.
And I'll just throw this out there too, because of the school we grew up in and went to, we were pretty successful in the major sports: football, basketball. Even baseball, we were okay. Mm-hmm. Soccer, we were good. And so that's definitely going from having winning records in every sport every year to then being a coach or a player elsewhere and having baseball. A losing record, except baseball.
Except baseball. We only had 1 winning season.
So
pretty good at geography bowl.
Well, yeah, because the guys would leave to go do track or whatever.
But I think we can all relate to losing. I think we can all relate. And when I say we all, I'm talking about everyone listening to this. There's always a story about losing or, getting cut. My example that I'll tell you real quick was 7th grade basketball. I'd played basketball since 2nd grade with Trey Wentz. His dad was our coach, and I always got yelled at my whole name by his dad. John Snyder! Every time. Not every time I did something wrong, but most of the time.
Because you traveled.
Yeah, so I would – so 2 quick stories about myself.
You traveled.
This was 3rd grade basketball, right, at the YMCA. Mm-hmm. I would get called for traveling, and then I would take the ball and slam it down as hard as I could and then get called for a technical. That happened probably not every game.
He's a real hothead.
It definitely happened. It definitely happened the first 2 or 3 games, and then Coach Bill Wentz explained to me that wasn't okay. But no, I played basketball, and then 7th grade came, And I think 7th grade, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, 7th grade was a combined 7th and 8th grade team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's not forget to mention, Trey was talking about his small frame. In 7th grade, I may have been 4.5 feet tall, close to that, 90 pounds. And I got cut from the basketball team. And I remember after that, the next year, 8th grade came, and I just remembered I'm not getting cut again because, first off, if you've ever been cut from a team, it's not fun. It's not a great feeling. And so that's my humbling story. And then maybe we'll just get into the next, like one of your successful basketball or sports stories, I guess. Something that you're proud of in sports, something you've done. And for me, I think those two tie together was getting cut and then telling myself that's not going to happen again because it was not fun at all. And so for me, those two stories combined do the humbling / failure and then the like successful basketball, because 8th grade basketball was the most fun for me of every year I ever played basketball. So it all got wrapped up in.
Is that when John went off for all the threes?
Like
was that
21
8th grade?
points against Bethany. I still remember that.
I remember
couldn't
that.
miss.
John crossed the half court line and would lob it up.
And
It just went
nothing
in.
but net.
It was a strong
That
night.
was awesome.
There were no technicals that night.
There weren't. No, I had learned my lesson by then. But for you other guys, what is a moment in your sports life, whether it was high school or coaching or maybe one of your kids? I mean, we've got kids now. I mean, some that are in high schools and younger. And so maybe it's a successful story of that you're proud of, or one of your own moments that you're proud of. Anybody? Is it hard to answer because we don't like to brag on ourselves? That's a fair question.
I
I think
to
that is
brag on
for me.
It's okay to brag on yourself. It's,
Like
it's a
brag
fair
on
question.
I think one of the best memories that I have was football. I mean, throughout every sport, but my favorite was probably football whenever the number one team in the state came and played at our field, and it was Halloween. You guys remember that? It was Pioneer? And everybody was so loud that game, it was just out of control. What did we win up? 30? Something like that? I mean...
Yeah, we won by a lot.
And that was just the most fun I'd ever had playing a game, I think. It was just a blast. Seeing guys on the sidelines, all the super seniors, you guys just going crazy. And just that adrenaline, that whole thing was just amazing.
That's good.
And then basketball, it was junior year playing at UCO in the state tournament. Warmed up, it was like Hoosiers empty, and then ran out, and it was like, holy crap, this is insane. Just, it was packed. And we won that game, and it was just, that was a lot of fun.
And really quick for you listeners who don't know us, we went to a small school in Edmond, Oklahoma. Our graduating class, I think, was like 49, 47,
45.
something like that. So just to get an idea of where we're coming from our point of view.
I think a lot of good came from playing sports. Looking back, I have less like specific memories, and more just that when it all kind of works together and the team works. And I think looking at my older kids playing, and kind of seeing not just like the light switch come on for whatever skills involved, but the light switch of facing adversity, overcoming adversity, competition, and kind of working hard together for a purpose. And I can think of aspects of my kids playing a whole lot easier than back in the day, but that to me is what is the most fun and most rewarding part of sports, was the team, and when it all kind of works together.
I'll jump in and piggyback on what Hans is saying, because I'm gonna take some of my greatest sports successes from the coaching side of it. and having the ability to kind of see your team figure things out and put it together, but then to see your team reap the benefit of all the hard work, I think is the most rewarding experience that I've had. And we've had the opportunity to win a few, state championships as a coach, and but to be able to kind of watch the kids work really, really hard at what we've asked them to do, and then to watch them succeed because of it is pretty awesome in the coaching realm.
Yeah, all my positive stuff with sports, like it was being on a team and it was working hard. It was competition. I got nothing but good things to say about that. Like I said, I mean, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Like mine was probably characterized by more struggle than it wasn't exactly where I shined on the field. But I had a ton of fun playing soccer senior year. I had a ton of fun being on teams. So those are good memories by and large. But I think my success, or how'd you ask the question?
I guess, yeah. I mean, we went from failure to maybe your favorite sports moment. I mean, do you have a favorite sports moment from playing
weirdly
sports?
enough, mine are kind of now. Mine are so my success in the whole sporting thing is I feel like I've taken care of my body, and I run marathons now and run half marathons and train with folks, and I turned 40 this year. And that's a thing, that's a point of pride for me, especially because my being a kid was so characterized by being able to run for 5 minutes and then have an asthma attack. And so now I do marathons, and that's I've got a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, something you definitely don't take for granted.
Never foresaw being possible when I was a kid.
Right.
So yeah, now I think is kind of it for me.
Yeah, cool. With the sports thing, I mean, we can wrap up the sports part. Let's real quick, because we've got some OU fans, some OSU fans. What's your take on the season? OU football, OSU football. Anybody?
Are we going to talk about the Hilltoppers at all? Because that's really sort of my specialty.
Is that the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers?
Yeah, those are the ones.
You can talk about them.
Okay, as long as there's a segment for that.
As an OU fan, I don't know. It's kind of fun to see the snowball rolling and getting bigger again. We had a really exciting start and several seasons with the Bob Stoops era, and then Lincoln Riley's got things going even more exciting, it seems like. So, the storyline of Jalen Hurts and replacing an entire offensive line and all that kind of stuff just kind of lends itself to kind of a fun season to be a part of.
Any OSU fans want to chime in? You don't have to.
On the Oklahoma State front, I think it's there is excitement in the unknown, and there is terror in the unknown. You're bringing in a whole lot of new pieces, be it coordinators, be it big time skill position players, redshirt freshman as a starting quarterback, kicking off Big 12 ball, in the next couple of days. But he's shown flashes of some good. He's shown some really, really silly mistakes. So you kind of hope that the three non-conference games will help you bring out the good when we need it in the next few weeks. But I don't know. There's some excitement, and that could go away on Saturday night at 6 after the opener. Or no, Saturday night at 10:30 after the opener. But yeah, it's just part of being an Oklahoma State fan is you look like
Pain.
It is.
Pain is a part of it.
It is, and you look amazing against teams that you probably shouldn't, and then you go lay an egg against teams that you should beat by, 3 touchdowns. But the model of consistency that is an OU fan is much different than the roller coaster ride of emotions being a Pokes supporter.
Yeah, it's tough being an OSU fan when you could go 9-3 or 6-4,
yeah,
or 6-6. I mean, yeah. Where OU is going to win 10 games, right?
Fact. It's awesome. It takes us 3 years to get to 10 games. They just roll out of bed and there it is.
Feels good.
Yeah, does it?
It's fun.
I'm sure it is.
Is it? Yeah, I'm sure it's
true.
fun to win.
I'm sure it is.
It's just nice to know
It's
that
great.
part of my life is always going to work out.
I hope you get stuck in traffic next time you go to an OU game.
Awesome. I think that's it for the sports part. We'll be right back after this break. All right, we are back. So, around this table, we are all dads. There's a ton of mom blogs out there and mom podcasts and those kinds of things that I see all the time. I know there are some dad ones. There's actually, I think on Twitter, there's a Twitter account. I think it's called The Dad, and it posts some hilarious stuff about being a dad. I should look in to see what that is, actually. But so we're all dads of multiple kids for most of us, and then soon to be multiple kids. So
That's me.
That's you.
there's a bunch of things what did you say, Trey? Things you need to know?
This is what you got to know.
This is what you got to know about being a dad, which obviously we're all not perfect dads. We're close.
Respectfully disagree.
We're close, but we're trying. And so I think we all have some advice for being dads, whether it's something simple or something really in depth. And so let's just go around the table. Does anyone have any advice for maybe soon to be dads? I mean, we could give BJ some advice too, and whoever's listening who has one kid now and is going to go to multiple kids, because it's definitely a game changer. And so there might be some good advice. I mean, Hans, you've got four boys. So I'm sure you've got some advice for BJ going from one kid to two, and then maybe 3 or 4 later on down the road. Right, Beach?
Nope, 2's it. Surgery coming March.
Wow. Already
Wow.
scheduled.
Yeah, brought to you by March Madness.
Oh, that's right.
Number one time that it happens, by
There's
the
a
way.
special seat. You
It
can
is
sit on at
absolutely,
Buffalo Wild Wings.
absolutely. Filling out brackets and taking care of other things. It's going to be awesome.
Wow.
BJ, let's ask. I want to ask this question first.
Hit me.
Then, so you've got, how old is your daughter?
She's 2.5.
2.5. So you're gonna have another one due here in the next couple months.
The little boy
Yeah.
due the 1st of November.
How are you feeling?
We've crossed over. I say we. I'll speak for me. We are. There, I say it again. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, and I don't know that it's nerves of, are we going to be able to handle this new boy? I think it's more nerves of, how does Nash react when she's not the only one around? That, I think, is starting to make me more nervous, because the older she gets, the more she is becoming aware and acknowledging that there is a baby coming and things are changing. But she hasn't seen this child, and this child is not taking all of mom's attention, and mom can't hold her while she's with baby. That is starting to make me a little bit nervous and a little bit uneasy, and so that would be probably where I would heed the advice of multiple kids with each of you sitting at this table. And any listener that wants to hit me up on Twitter I'm just kidding. I'm not giving that. So. You see that segue though? That was awesome.
It's really strong.
But that's the big one for me is what will, or how do you handle the change of adding one when it comes to a toddler that is used to being
The center of attention.
the universe,
Right.
and has been for 2.5 years.
I feel like this is kind of Hans's domain.
Yeah, so I've got 4 boys, ages 18, 16 and a half, 4, and 9 months. The first 2, the older boys, they are 17 months apart, so it was kind of like having 2 kids. I mean, they were in almost every stage at the same time.
Right. Twins,
So-
essentially.
Yeah. Chaos for sure. With the age gap with the 2 younger ones, it's a little different, because now we're dealing with what you dealt with, or are going to deal with, Beach, is, Benton's he's been kind of the life of the party, because he's got the 2 older boys, but then all of a sudden he's got a little one, and he's loved it. I mean, he likes being a big brother all of a sudden. Luke loved when Benton came around, because now he was all of a sudden a big brother, even though there was however many years, 12 years difference. I found with both Noah, who's the oldest, and Benton, who's the oldest of the second crew, when the sibling came, it was like instant bonding time with the two older ones, because that's kind of where my role was taking care of the older ones, helping that way. So that's kind of unique to the oldest, maybe. But I always say, and Hayden and I talk about it all the time, is like our little phrase is 2 is no joke.
Right.
And I think once you get to 2, whether it's 2 or 4, and I mean, I don't have we know people that have got 4 kids that are all under the age of 10 or whatever.
We haven't seen them in years.
Yeah, right. Mine's a little unique with the teenagers and the younger ones, but 2 is no joke. And you'll make it, and you'll be fine, and you'll love it, and everyone will adjust, but it's a different world. It's good.
Yeah, it's going into it, especially with the first one. You can get all the advice you want from other people, but it's still going to be so different and unique to your situation. And then even going from the 1 to the 2, I mean, obviously there is some advice that carries over, but then every kid's different, every situation's different. So, I mean, at least in our situation, just like I can, pile into what Hans said about, after our second one was born, those first few months, I definitely spent most of my time with the older one because, mom's got to take care of the baby. And so that's a great bonding time. Take advantage of it. Don't take it for granted, which, I mean, we can all attest that they do grow up so fast. And I know that our parents told us that, like, where'd the time go? Even now when I talk to my parents, they're like, how are you almost 40? It's like, where did that time go? And so, take advantage of every minute of it, every snuggle. That's my advice. It's going from 1 to 2. It's enjoy it because it is going to be chaos anyways. Even no matter the age separation, the age gap, it's still fun, but it's chaos. But you learn and you keep your kids alive and feed them and have fun.
Those are good things.
Kind of piggybacking off what you were saying, John. Brindley, my daughter, she was 5 when Beckett was born. So we got her more involved because we'd let Brindley feed Beckett a bottle. We'd be sitting at home and she would sit there and she loved it. So she kind of took on this mom role, right? She still does, which is kind of the problem that we're working on. That was so long ago, but Brindley's always been a bossy one. But no, you'll figure it out, and everybody does. It doesn't matter what anybody says. You'll figure it out. Like, you'll get your systems. You'll get your order. Do that, right? And one day it might be Caitlin doing something with Nash for a little bit, and you're with the baby and switching on and off like that. You'll find what works for you.
Trey, you've got 2 boys.
I do.
What are the age gaps?
My oldest is 4.5. My youngest turns 2 in about a month.
Okay.
And I think it was hard for my oldest. I think that's a natural thing for it to be hard already. His personality, like he loves holding the attention of the room, and I don't know where he gets that.
I was about to say,
it.
Apple does not fall far from that fabulous
tree. Yeah, I think that was a hard process for him. And I don't know that we came up with a solution except that just the natural rhythms of life sort of forced him to have to share the limelight. Which now they've got a really sweet relationship. Like that was one of the things we were concerned about, because you've heard about older siblings sort of resenting their younger siblings, and he never did.
There's legit fear that
that's
there will be
a
a pillow that a loving smothering will take place at some point.
Wow.
That's the space babe. She's a wild card. Proceed.
No, I mean, but I think like we were worried about that, and he never resented his little brother. He just resented not having the limelight. But it settled down.
Cool. BJ?
Here we go. I mean, it is great advice, and what I'll say for those of you listening is, I mean, the guys I'm sitting around this table, with, you learn, I was one of the last to get married out of this group. I was one of the last to have kids. I was actually the last one to have kids in this group. Now I'll have the youngest one coming up, and it's just the lessons that you learn from watching the people that you trust do it, and do it well some days, and sometimes it doesn't go well. And being able to have really, really raw conversations and learning experiences has been hugely beneficial to the folks over at my house. And we're gonna, I don't know, we're looking forward to it. Still a little bit nervous, but we'll give it our best. Give it the old college try.
The old college try.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's have a baby.
Oh. Do you guys, Hans, you might not anymore just because you have 2 older kids, and you still might, but my wife and I the other day were talking about how sometimes we'll be in the car doing something and we'll look in the mirror and see our kids and be like, "Oh, we're parents." Like sometimes it's weird. You're like, "Oh man, I'm a dad of 2 kids." Like, do you guys ever have those moments where you're just like, wait a minute?
We're responsible for other human beings?
It's usually when daycare calls and says, you haven't picked up your daughter yet. You need to come get her.
Oh, we're parents.
That's what I did.
I knew there was something. I thought it was
I was a grocery store run, gas
get
station.
Milk, gas.
Yeah, pick up the
your
child.
children. Yeah. Yeah, all the time. Because I feel like on the inside, I feel like I'm about college age, and then I keep forgetting that I'm twice that age. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's a fun part of life.
I think with moving to 2 kids, the thing that I've been happy with, the move that Debbie and I've made, was we emphasized sort of, they say, date your wife, or, the phrases like that. Like, we emphasized good habits. Like, we just hung out with each other. Because as it turns out, we're going to have our kids for a while, and then we're not. They're going to be out of the house, and then we're still going to have each other. And we'd like to not look up and see a stranger. And I think one of the things we've done pretty well is just hang out with each other, like find time to hang out with each other, not feel bad about getting a babysitter, do that kind of stuff. And most of the time I'm a better parent because of it. It just sort of gives me a little sanity, a little margin and stuff like that. I think that's been one of the best things we did moving to 2 kids.
Well, and I would be curious as I look at Hans, I would be curious for the insight on what it's like to essentially have raised 2. I mean, you have 2 kids in the next 2 years are out.
Right.
And all of a sudden you look back and you're like, hey, we did it. Oh, welcome to 2nd grade. And you started over. Like, I mean, has that, what has that done for you and the missus?
I was thinking about the whole, oh my gosh, we're parents. I mean, I don't know adult life without being a dad. So that just, I guess I've never had that, oh man, I'm a dad. Like, it's just the way it's been. Like, I kind of grew up with the older 2. And with the younger 2 coming back around, it's interesting because, I mean, that's kind of where we all are now, right? We've all got kids around that age. And so it's nice to, and I mean, I had, friends that were parents of the older boys' kid, but now my friend, like, guys that I've known, like, we added it up, whatever, the 122 years, it's the same world again. So that part's fun. Trey hit it on the head with the, we're going to have kids for a long time, and then all of a sudden they're going to be gone. And that's what I'm seeing. Like, Noah's a senior, and all of a sudden, so that reality's here, and realizing how relatively fast that actually does go by. But you've got to be intentional to carve out that time with each other so that you aren't just lost in that dad or mom role. You're still the spouse role too. But yeah, it's weird. We've got a weird paradigm in our house. I mean, it's college and cars and prom and, high school sports and diapers and 4-year-old soccer and, stuff like that, where it's like, man, I remember this. This is exciting, and holy cow, it goes so fast.
Yeah. It's just weird to think about. I can't imagine having an 18-year-old in my house yet. And you're there.
We're there, baby.
I'm going to ask a question about being a dad because I know, and I'm asking this question because it, with me it applies definitely. Is what is the one thing as a dad that you're working on now at this moment? I guess maybe to be a better dad or to be more present as a dad or what it might be, whether it's with job stuff or that kind of thing. And I'll answer it first. Like for me, it's patience right now. It's tough having a 2.5-year-old and a 4-year-old in the house and keeping your patience and not raising your voice and so that's definitely the one thing that I'm working on and walking through. Do you guys have any advice for that?
I gave
for being more
patience.
patient,
Or
is that just part of it?
I think that's part of it. 'Cause that's the exact same thing
Yeah.
with me. I mean, it's amazing how when you go home from work, the last thing you want to do is sit down and do homework. And if you do, and it's simple stuff that and they're struggling with it. It's like, come on, this is simple. It's just hard to do that. I think I'm terrible at it.
I look back at my parents, and I know they were as equally tired, or more, whatever. We're probably harder on ourselves than what our kids would come back and say. We have moments of impatience, and to answer the question, mine's probably being intentional. Like I realized a year or so ago how quickly it goes. So being intentional with all the stages and not just, it's the older boys. It's a whole different kind of fun because they like a lot of the same stuff I do, and we can go do a whole lot of things together. But it's interesting because you kind of, or at least I have started to have a whole lot more. I appreciate and realize what my parents went through, and I don't remember them not having time for anything. And I feel like, I'm hypersensitive to not having time for something here and there, more than I'd like. And again, that may be, I think we're harder on ourselves probably than what the reality is on it, possibly. But yeah, it all rolls into, I guess for me, it all rolls into I've never wanted to pretend I was perfect for them because they're going to be massively disappointed at the age of probably 3 when they can start to reason a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things of I try to say sorry early and often and figure out figure it out as we go.
I think, the thing that you said it twice was don't be so hard on yourself because I think that way too. Like, oh man, my kids are going to remember this when they're 18, and odds are they're not. In a moment or something you have, and so I definitely feel at times that I'm really hard on myself. Like, oh man, like I've really let him down, or I got really upset, and he's gonna remember this, or whatever it might be. And odds are won't, but I think that's really good advice for me too. Is don't be so hard on myself.
I think for me, it's going to wind up being, it's going to sound stupid as I have a 2.5-year-old, but it's managing expectations for her. And I do a poor job, admittedly, as a teacher. So teaching little kids, coaching high school kids. When I get home from doing those 2 jobs, I don't want to have to be in a teaching mode still, and I take that out on Nash to where I'm thinking, you know this. I mean, kind of what Tate was saying, and she's still kind of soaking everything in. And whether it's playing, a counting game on her iPad or something in a book that we're reading, just wanting her to be able to get that. And then on the flip side, when she has a moment of being 2.5, my reactions need to be better, and it's something that I work on, and Kate and I both know that I'm working on it, and it's something that has become very, very important to my continual growing relationship with Nash, is making sure she understands how proud I am of her and how much I do love her, because again, she might not remember these things, but it starts to set a pattern and standard as we move through stages to where she will start to remember these things. And so not being able, not bringing home, crazy expectations, or not even wanting to be the non-teacher at home because that's what I do for the day. That's not fair to her, and something that we're definitely, working on a little bit.
Yeah, going from that teacher to dad.
Sure.
Like flipping that switch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
makes sense. I mean, I think we all have jobs.
Right.
So it's that teacher or whatever our jobs are, leading that at work.
Right.
And not bringing that home.
Right.
If you had a bad day, I find myself doing that sometimes. It carries over, and you've got to take a breath. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is my family, my kids. Slowing down.
I think for me, it's time, and it's full attention time. I think I've looked up at the end of a day and thought I've been in the space of my kids most of the day, and but I haven't just sat and given them full attention. Like I'm on my phone, or I'm trying to do a little bit of work, or a TV's on, or whatever it might be. I think my growing edge, the thing I work on quite a bit, is trying to orient my job in such a way that I get extra time with them and sort of meaningful time. And then when I'm home, it's full out attention. Not that I have to give them my undivided attention the entire time I'm home, but just to make sure I carve out X amount of time every day where I'm on the floor, my phone's in a different room, and I just want to just enjoy them. Whatever it is they're into, I'm into it, and just play along. And now that I've started paying attention to that, I've started realizing that it's sort of less natural, or you have to do it on purpose. So that's been my growing edge, is paying attention to how much undivided, full attention time I give, and to make travel decisions for work, to do sort of unusual things, to just get a few extra hours at home, to do a red eye flight or whatever it is, to get home a couple extra hours early. I think all that counts.
Cool. Any other dad advice? Anything else you guys want to throw out?
Some of the best advice I got right before our first kid was born, a buddy of mine said, Trey, here's what you need to know. Parents like to gripe, but you don't actually have to gripe. It's actually okay to say it's fun, because sometimes it's fun. And I don't know why that felt so revolutionary, but parents do like to gripe. How when there's nothing to say in a conversation, people will say either something about being tired or busy, because that's just the standard filler stuff you fill conversations with. And I think another one of those things is griping about just your wild kids, or whatever it is you want to say. Your kids are exhausting you. And I feel like I've got permission. I don't have to do that. I can say, man, being a parent's awesome. And just sort of change what is normal, how you talk about being a parent. And A, I think it's true, but B, I think it sort of changes your perspective. But, I think that's so. I don't gripe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I love being a dad. I think it's a blast. It's hard. The stages, and I can kind of, again, having older boys, and I can only speak to boys, but as a dad, you're the coolest thing in the world until
you're not.
You're not. And it's overnight you're not. But then it kind of comes back around, not that I'm the coolest thing in the world to the teenagers, but it just kind of changes. And so it's hard. It's awesome. It's fun. It's sad sometimes. We've all had setbacks and failures and all that kind of stuff that we've learned and worked through. It's a whole different thing watching your kid go through that, and realizing, oh man, they worked so hard for this and it didn't work. But knowing that is such an important part of life, so I love that you don't have to gripe, man. That's a fact. And it's hard, but it is the most rewarding, most fun thing in the world. It's true.
Any last thoughts on being a dad?
You're going to mess up a lot.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're not perfect. We figured
it's
out.
all good though.
Trey.
I don't know if all of us have admitted that yet.
I'm just admitting it for you.
I was speaking for BJ.
BJ's not perfect.
I'm far from perfect. I appreciate my dear 122-year-old friends pointing that out to me.
You got 122 years of proof that you're not
That
perfect.
was really, really
right.
awesome. I'm glad to be sitting at this table with you guys.
No, but I just on this topic, just because we've known each other for so long, there's so many stories that we have that I know our wives are so tired of hearing, and they change and they get more elaborate every time we tell them. But just seeing this group of guys go from high school to college to getting married and then to having kids has been a real joy because of just knowing everyone and seeing everyone for what they are and who they are.
I was going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is a solid group of dads. Like, it's been so fun to watch all of you guys go into that role and catch up finally.
Well, we all were dads at a very early age because we all had to jump in and raise the two oldest, which we loved doing.
That's right.
Go with Uncle BJ for a minute. Uncle Tate's coming to pick you up from soccer.
Yeah.
Man. No, it's cool though. Just the stages of life. So it's fun where we're at, and I know that we're going to have plenty more conversations about being dads. And so we'll be right back after this break.
Are we really at 3 minutes and 4? Okay. This is a good game.
Is it a good game?
Start it.
No.
We get shit done by doing things when they need to be done. It doesn't matter if there's 3 minutes left. It's podcast time. Am I wrong, Trey?
No, that was brilliant. It was pure brilliance.
I love that you added that to the beginning
Yeah.
because I was recording.
Bring it in. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, get shit done.
There it is.
This is Release Rotation with your hosts, John W. Snyder, and special guests, William Earl Wentz III, Brian James Fuhrhelm,
Fire helmet.
Brian Matthew Tate, and me, Hans William Plum.
All right. I don't even know how to. That was great. Thank you.
Watching Hans do that, it reminds me of Anna Gastemeyer on Saturday Night Live.
Was it
Remember that skit?
Delicious Dish?
Delicious
The
Dish,
Delicious
where they were
Dish. That's
talking
exactly what it was
this.
like.
Hans is eloquently just
Call things neat.
doing things.
Yeah,
doing
it's
good.
It's good.
he's just getting stuff done, which is a great segue
SEGUE. That's how you spell that.
into what we want to talk about next.
Yeah, it's surprising, right?
What did you spell?
Segway. SEGUE.
Why is that?
It's just not how you would think you would spell it. Listen,
That's how I would spell
that's
it.
because you won spelling bees, and I see you setting up your own bragging. I understand.
I'm not.
Let's do some
Hans
champion
actually-
challenger math, John.
Wait, let's. You know what? This is the free for all for a second.
Are you smarter than a third grader in the math department?
I will say this. This is a great story I remember about Hans. 5th or 6th grade, Hans could care less about the school spelling bee, and he got the word vacuum. And this is what Hans does. Vacuum. VACWM. Vacuum.
Did I really?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
And our teacher says,
I'm out of here.
Our teacher says, you know what? I'm going to give it to you because I knew what you meant. And Hans was
What?
so mad because he wanted out of it.
What was there? A
'Cause he
football
didn't
team
care.
in 5th grade too? Is that why?
This was, I think it was 6th grade with Mrs. Feist. Were you in her
Yeah.
class?
I was in.
No, you were in Eckel.
I was in Eckel.
So it might have been Williams. Were you in Williams or?
I was in Williams.
No, I was in Miss Cobb. But,
Man,
but
so-
Miss Williams or
We traded classes.
yeah, and I think one of them
Sorry, BJ. I know you weren't there.
No,
So
it's
I'll
all
tell you.
good.
I don't remember doing that, but it definitely
You
sounds
did
like something
definitely
I would've
do
said.
it.
It's on brand for sure.
And it may be
Yes.
4th grade Roberts where I got my first C in math, which explains a lot. But
What am
that
I
was a great story from school that I remember about. Just speaking of spelling,
I'll go with it.
isn't Segway SEGWAY?
If you're writing on it, yes.
Which also, side note, the dude who invented the Segway rode one off a cliff.
On purpose?
No.
Accident and died.
Segway.
It's the guy who owned it. It's not the guy who invented it.
And there's also an awesome YouTube video called Monkey on a Segway. And it's a monkey riding a Segway.
It's exactly what you think it'd be.
Yeah. No, it's aptly named.
Yeah, the title is the video.
Yeah.
This Segway has been really good.
Oh, wow. I don't really
was-
know where to go from here.
No, that
Usually
was
you do with a Segway.
brilliant. All right, let's talk about getting things done. This was brought up by Trey earlier, who also goes by William Earl Wentz III. Actually, he never goes by
I
that.
don't know if I want that out.
Don't use his government name in real life.
That's exactly right. It's
well,
my agent
too late.
name.
Getting things done. That's what you said, right?
I said getting things done.
Getting things done. So I feel this is a great topic because this has to do with discipline, procrastination, laziness. What else? What else keeps us from getting things done? Let's start with that, Trey.
A lack of priorities.
Lack of priorities,
Being unorganized.
unorganized,
Lazy.
lazy,
Lack of understanding about what your role is. Like lack of clarity.
okay. Role clarity.
Role clarity.
I do a lot of that at my job, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's with me, I'll go first real quick on getting things done. Like my job wise, great, whatever. Family, great, whatever. Health and exercise, horrible. That's where I really need like the getting things done. Like priority setting at work, that's not a problem for me. It's the exercise and the eating right.
I couldn't hear you over my gummy bears, John. Can you speak up?
That was a
Speaking
real
of-
statement. There's a line of gummy
But
bears.
no,
next
so
week.
I obviously on this
Massacre.
podcast, I try to be honest and upfront about certain things, and so that is one of them. And so I think getting things done is one that definitely speaks to me. And so, Trey, since you thought of the getting things done, what exactly did you mean by that?
I think all of us, and I'm interested to hear what folks say, because all of us have figured out our own sort of cocktail for how we organize our life and how we prioritize things and how we get stuff done. And different things work for different folks, but I'm always interested to see how people do it because I'm tweaking how I'm trying to get things done. But yeah, for me, the most important habit that I started doing, 10 years ago, was something called balcony time. Have you all ever heard? Is that a familiar phrase?
I have a balcony.
You do have a balcony.
I do know what balcony time is.
You know what balcony time is?
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I
We
do.
worked on the same staff.
This
BJ and I
is-
worked on the same staff.
Okay.
This is looking at being able to remove yourself from a day-to-day operation, go up a few floors, step out onto the balcony, and overlook your current date to pick a date down the road and be able to see how all these pieces need to successfully be prioritized and successfully be accomplished in order to make the next step that much more important and that much more valuable to the overall scheme of what you're trying to get accomplished when you look at your priorities from the balcony. Did I do it right? It's been a few years.
No, it's dead on. The metaphor, a balcony in a factory. And so if you're a factory that makes widgets and maybe you're the best widget maker in all the land, so you get what's it called when you get a better job? What's that called?
Promotion.
Promoted to manager. And so your job is actually not to make widgets, it's to be up in the balcony and see how the whole operation works. And so you're literally not doing your job if you're going down and making widgets. That's not what you're paid to do. You're paid to make sure the whole operation works. And that's like balcony time. The rule is like you're literally not doing any of your to-dos. You're organizing what you're going to do for the next week or 2 weeks or whatever it is. So it's really frustrating because
You're not doing anything other
you're
than
not.
you are, but
you're
you're
not getting
not.
your list done.
You're not
you can-
doing tasks.
Yes, and you can feel your emails like increasing as you're sitting there not answering emails. You can feel, but on weeks when I do balcony time, and it can take a couple hours, I will finish that week. Like I will have done the things that mattered. That's what it is. Like, you organize your week in such a way that every day you know what you're supposed to do, and you can just you can count on the fact that it's the things that matter as opposed to just the things that keep you busy. And weeks that I don't do it, I'll be busy as I'll get out, and it won't matter. Like, I'll have lots of other stuff that sort of didn't move the ball down the field. So yeah, balcony time was my biggest changer. Okay. And so there's about 20 questions that I just have to answer to sort of organize my week. So do it every Monday morning.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So
yeah,
start your week that way helps you stay on track, know what the priorities are, and take care of them.
Right.
Okay.
So that's been my favorite one.
I like that. Because I know for me, I mean, so do you do that with work? Do you do that with
everything?
Your marathon running?
Every role that I have. Like, matter of fact, it categorizes the roles that I am. So I'm a professional, I'm a father, I'm a husband. I've got to be some version of a financial planner. So it just sort of lays out all the roles that I have. And yeah, it all goes on the same schedule.
Okay. That's cool. That's awesome. Real quick though, with just getting things done, this is a question for all of you. Do you guys get up at the same time every day? Do you set an alarm, or do you let nature take its course, or your kids? For most of us, maybe our kids wake us up at a certain time. I'm curious because for me, I don't set an alarm unless I absolutely have to get up before 7 because our oldest is up by 6:30, 6:45 every day. So I know I'll be up by then no matter what, unless obviously I need to get up earlier. What are your thoughts on, setting an alarm for the morning?
I hate the sound of an alarm.
And everything.
I think we all do that one.
Yeah, but I'm up pretty much the same time every day. It lets me knock out a few of the things I need to knock out or want to knock out before the rest of the crew's up and everything's going haywire for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a physical alarm you set, not your body.
My body now usually is waking up about anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes before my alarm, and that gives me the pleasure of
not
turning the alarm off before it goes off.
Perfect.
So there's times where, on vacation, I'm not setting an alarm unless it's got to be somewhere.
Right.
But I still wake up about the same time.
Yeah.
I'm an alarm guy. I'm an alarm guy because we kind of hustle through our morning. We're not a slow moving family. But it's because that is when Caitlin and I are able to get stuff done at work. We get Nash to school. She loves going, but we're able to get to work before the hustle and bustle and before the chaos pops up and the unknowns pop up that kind of interrupt the daily flow. And I would say we get more work done at each of our jobs between the hours of 6:30 and 7:30 than maybe we do in the rest of our day. With kids coming in, with teachers that we need to meet with, and other parents coming around. So so we're an alarm family, and it's strictly to just better use the time that we have in the morning to get stuff knocked out. And I'm a list maker. Trey does balcony time, and I literally go right out, but I will always put a very nice, neat box beside it because there's just a pure joy in
checking
that box literally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, off the list, and we move on from there.
Okay.
I'm not really a list maker, but I've probably the last 2 years I've got every day 3 non-negotiable things that are going to get done no matter what. That's not to say other regular responsibilities don't occur, because they do. I mean, you've got stuff at work that has to be done, bills have to be paid. And sometimes that list is ever changing. Sometimes it's something to do with work or something to do with family or something to do with like my personal, health or well-being. But once one of those, then hopefully if it's reoccurring things, that becomes a habit. and I can take that off the list because it's just going to happen anyway.
Right, and that's something else.
Yeah. So it used to be like you all know. It used to be I'm going to walk an hour every morning. That's no longer on my list because it's just part of the routine now. It's like that's part of why I wake up earlier is to get that out of the way before other responsibilities are there.
Have you replaced that with anything yet?
Yeah, I have. So walking was replaced with reading for at least half an hour, which Monday will be replaced with jiu-jitsu. I'm starting to do that in an organized fashion again. It's been a long time. But it's not, it's certainly not habit. And I've got to carve out some, as we get kids and responsibilities, I think I said like to you guys before, I've got to inconvenience myself to get the things done that I want to get done.
Right.
Because it's not my family's responsibility for me to do something like jiu-jitsu. While that may make me a better person all the way around, great, but that's not their burden to bear of me doing it at 7 o'clock at night when everyone's trying to get ready for bed the next day and all that kind of stuff. So again, that involves getting up early or using a lunch hour or something like that.
Cool. So something I struggle with is like when I don't know what the right word is, but like if I start I'm going to work out, I'm going to run, I'm going to do this. I always feel like and this has happened for the last 2 years. It's like, I'm just going to go run 3 miles every day. Or I'm going to do this. And it's way too much rather than.
It's the all or nothing.
Yeah. And I screw myself every time because I've bitten off more than I can chew. Is that the saying?
Well done.
Yeah. And so that's definitely something I'm working on. I think that's getting things done is rather than the all or nothing, it's little bites at a time, little pieces at a time. And so definitely something I'm working on and getting things done is, and I love the 3 things a day, the walking.
That's really, I like the 3 things a day a lot.
And then once you get that done and that it becomes a habit rather than a checkbox.
Well, and I think it's as you get to know yourself and it's easy to spend, quote, time doing things that you are succeeding at.
Right.
And my past, as you guys pointed out earlier, I had a pretty good run athletically, and that kind of stuff came naturally and didn't face faced adversity as in a game and the competition, but not a whole lot of adversity, maybe not making a team or doing this. That I didn't experience that.
The personal adversity, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, going a long period of time neglecting health, thinking that's still my mindset of kind of, it's back to I'm gonna compete and win. And even on something I like to do, if I wasn't winning right away, I'd gotten to a point to where the journey and the path wasn't worth it. So that's where the 3 things came in. And that's why there's nothing sexy about saying I'm going to go walk 3 miles a day. Like that's what old people do at the mall. But it was something
matching suits.
Yeah, and matching tracksuits.
Well, you're doing something.
Yes, and that was the catalyst of like I'm just going to do this, and I love that time more than anything, and I know because I've toyed with jiu-jitsu over the last 2 years of kind of trying to get back into it. Well, I've forgotten more than I knew, or I've forgotten most of what I knew, and you get in there and it's competitive, and you
want to pick up where you left off.
Yes, and it's not the case. It's a skill, right? So it's like anything else. If you
take time away from it,
you're gonna digress. And so my competitive head is like, well, screw it, I don't want to do that then. And that's why that's just that happens to be the activity since you asked, but that's why it's going on the list of it's non-negotiable. I'll do it 3 times a week until that just becomes part of the day again. And it's going to be a brutal teeth pull for probably a month because I'm not in that kind of shape. And I know what I was able to do 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's not what I can do right now. So that's that's kind of where I come from that.
But I think that helps.
Yeah, and
knowing that you can't, like, you're like knowing and admitting, like, I'm not going to be the same I was 5 or 10 years ago. I think it helps versus going into it and
swallow
like,
the ego.
oh, I've done this, I can do it.
Right.
But three's manageable. I can do 3 things a day that aren't a part of my everyday, routine right
and
now.
it's yours. It's not
Correct.
your family's. It's not. And are they all job related, or are they all personal goals?
No, like I said, sometimes like there have been things professionally that I've had on the list. I would say the majority of the time it's like personal development type stuff. And most of the time it's things that I do actually enjoy, but they haven't been a priority, or I haven't enjoyed them in a while, or I've neglected other parts to where I don't enjoy the actual activity. You go do any sort of physical activity and you come from not doing any of that, the enjoyment of that's not going to be very high up front.
No.
But once you can kind of get through the whatever it may be. But usually it's things that I've either want to learn or want to resharpen myself with.
Yeah. And even if it's not job related, I'm sure it carries over.
Oh, 100%.
Just the discipline and the
just
whatever it is.
Everything's about everything.
Yeah,
right?
everything's
How you
about
work
everything.
out somehow has everything to do with how you parent, how you do work, right?
How you eat, how you
every time.
and I think it's good to compartmentalize that stuff, but I think if you realize that it all bleeds over, I'm a better human being with consistent activity, whatever that may be. And hopefully, and walking is not challenging. It's what you do. I'll say that early on it was, legs would be sore and stuff like that, but there's something to challenging yourself, being able to hold yourself accountable, and just kind of winning. And that winning is checking that box, right?
That's a personal win. That's
however you get there, whether it's 15 things and someone's capable of that. I just know I can't have a list of 15 things that I have to get done.
and that's me.
12 of those things need to be automatic or they're going to get neglected.
We talk about the screw it mentality, which is what you set out a goal, you get it done 4 times or 5 times or 10 times, and then you miss it. And it's just, oh, well, screw it. I guess and you just totally fall off the wagon because you missed it. Because you weren't batting 1,000, which is a dumb way of understanding any endeavor that's hard, that you would bat 1,000.
Right.
But it's this exit ramp and you never get back on it. So we talk a lot about sort of planning your failure and planning how. Anyway, it happened with running. Like I said, I'm not going to miss for 3 weeks.
Right.
For this last
We
marathon.
talked about that, yeah.
And I didn't. That was great. And then the following week, I missed one day on, say, I don't know what it was, say a Tuesday. And it was Saturday before I ran again, just because I was like, oh, I missed it. I guess it's over. It was.
What do you think that is? Is that just is that a male thing or is that a human being thing?
It's a lousy understanding of how we're supposed to engage with hard things. They talk about growth mentality versus fixed mentality. People with the growth mentality just assume they're not going to be the best at something, and they turn out being better than most because they're always and fixed mentality tends to think either I'm the best, either I know it or I don't.
Yeah.
Which isn't true.
Well, your highest level performers, whether it be business or athletics or whatever, usually will tell you I was pretty average at A, B, and C. However, they were the best basketball or football player or Navy SEAL. I can't tell you how many high-level special operations guys that I've either listened to or talked to or whatever. I was average at best at all these things. There were guys way better than me at everything. Well, it's that I can always improve. As soon as you think you've figured it out, you're setting yourself up.
Yeah.
Except for me, I've got it figured out.
Right.
Right.
Of course.
We know that.
Or you find yourself sitting at a table pounding gummy bears shirtless. Whatever. But I'm getting there. I'm going to figure it out one day.
And I think we've turned into a society that failing's not okay.
Yeah.
And man, that's the gig. And I'm not saying you truly only fail if you quit, right? But man, it's whether it's 7th grade basketball and coming back to try out again in 8th grade. And here's the thing, there's probably nothing harder than not making the team with all of your friends.
Oh yeah, that was the hardest part.
I sit there and put myself in that situation. I'm like, holy cow! It's like they always say, well, if you can speak in front of your friends or your coworkers, you can go speak in front of anyone. What's true? Because you got to see those people all the time,
right?
And then go to the game or not go to the. It's everything's a decision for that next year that probably felt like 10 years, and that's something I try to do with my kiddos. Back to the dad thing is room to fail and grow and understand that there are consequences. It will be uncomfortable. It might even hurt, but it doesn't have to define you. At the end of the day, one of my boys got 2 pretty solid speeding tickets in a very short amount of time. And I remember, the second one especially, he was so, I think, scared of my reaction, but also just so disappointed. I'm like, listen, dude, there are horrible repercussions that come from speeding, right? You can get in a wreck, kill someone, kill yourself, whatever. But ultimately, at the end of the day, that didn't happen. And is that speeding ticket 10 years from now going to be a big deal? No, but how you own it,
Sure.
Move on from it, that's the deal.
How can and not necessarily define you, but how can it shape you?
Right.
And we at times, especially today, we think that our society thinks that because something negative is happening or something is hard, it can't mold us like maybe we thought 20 years ago. Whereas, you're fighting through this and it sucks, but it doesn't necessarily define you, but what path do you choose to take from that? And that's something that I'm seeing our, people today, and especially our kiddos dealing with. I've got a young lady who has decided to not play her junior year, and I don't know that she would play a whole lot, but she's not even going to give it a shot because she doesn't want to be embarrassed or this, that, and the other. And so she's just settling for, I'm going to give up 13 of my best friends, and I'm going to give up what could be a really, really fun year because I'm not going to be a part of it on the actual court. And it's been hard for me to watch because I think she is such a positive influence on the other girls. But that's a choice she made, and I'm not in any position to tell her otherwise. I will share what I think she can bring and what she could learn from this and how much harder she could work and hopefully see some things. But she's decided to kind of take the bailout, and so it's been hard to watch. But I hear what Hans is saying, and I like it. Mm-hmm. I like it a lot.
Well, sometimes your best isn't good enough.
Sure.
But it's good enough for your development, right?
Okay, but at the end of the day, and it's the cliche, at the end of the day, can you hold your head up and be like, I gave it all, and it didn't happen this time, but at least I know that I gave everything I had. And again, athletics, business, relationships, the gamut of things that we go through in life. Are you giving your all? Are you willing to always learn? Is there always areas that you can improve? And that's what we've got to be able to put that little pizza together and hope it comes out the right way. I love pizza.
I love pizza. Okay, question about giving it all, or your all. I don't think I give it my all in every category of my life. And I don't know if I'm open to this discussion. I don't know if I'm supposed to. This comes with the priority thing. I think part of establishing priorities is saying, I'm going to give this less energy. Because this other thing matters more.
Sure, and I think that given, that's where your balcony analogy comes into play of, are you willing to take your task and prioritize what does need your all?
Right.
Because you're right, not every aspect of every single day, be it business, be it, whatever else you're doing, is going to require that thing. If
that's what it is. Right. I think being able to give it your all is possible because you've clarified what you're not
Sure.
going to give it your all.
Sure.
Like what's less important.
Sure, but are you willing? But when you make that clarification, are you willing to say, okay, these 3 things are getting every ounce of what I can
Right.
give them, and so that's But to your point, sure, not everything, but I think going back to your analogy of the balcony and the prioritizing of things, can we do that?
Yeah. I was thinking about what you were saying. It just took me to another thought that I've heard countless times about different things is, would you rather be great at a few things or good at many things? And that might be part of prioritizing in a way, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's a great one. That's actually a great debate.
Because I think that might have to do with kind of what you were saying, Trey. Did you hear what I said? I mean, I know you walked away, but...
Great at a few, or
great at a few things versus good at many things. Like,
I think the more mature I get, not to say that I have gotten that mature, but I care about fewer things. Like I would want to do fewer things.
Be great at those.
But my personality, no. Like I want to be good at all this stuff. Like I like this thing, I like this thing. But I think I get a little bit better at narrowing it down. Like just fewer things matter.
Well, back to the everything is everything, right?
Right.
I think once that becomes reality, if you're, quote, giving it your all in some capacity, somewhere, whether it's a list of 3 or a balcony or a check, that's going to bleed over into other stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think once you realize it's all intertwined, then when you're giving it your all to marathon training,
mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to just not give time to your family. Because that's what we see a lot of, right? Like, I got to get healthy. Well, then everyone else around you suffers because that's your...
Right.
And that's why I'm like, it's... Once you've decided to have a family and stuff, the inconvenience needs to fall on the individual, not on the unit, right? So, I go back and forth on I guess... I probably care about fewer things, which maybe narrows it down to being better at fewer things. But man, I like the whole idea of the, kind of Renaissance man, jack of all trades sort of thing, where it's like, if someone needs me to help them install their garbage disposal or change a tire or, do whatever else might be out there, that can be something that, recommend a book or this or that. Just, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, John. That's a good question.
Maybe I was gearing that question more towards, maybe it was just towards athletics or towards your job or towards even a craft at your job.
Right.
For me, real quick, outside of my home, other than my family, that's really why I started this podcast. I mean, one, it was a creative itch that I had, that I needed to scratch. And so it was, I want to get great at this versus trying to do build a website and blog and figure this out.
Well, you can get so stretched so thin that you end up halfway doing everything.
There it is. And
your focus is everywhere versus...
That's what I would feel would kind of answer that question for me, because if I am great at those few things and really am focused in on those, inside of each of those, other little things are going to branch out of those.
And they're just going to happen naturally.
And so all of a sudden, your 4 things that you were really great at, instead of being good at 20, those 4 things turn into 20 things, but they also fall under the umbrella of what you're really passionate about and what you're really giving your all. So, you go 20 and be good at them, those 20, they continue to grow other little pieces. Yeah. And all of a sudden that 20 turns into 40, and now you're good at 40 things. So I don't know. So for me, I kind of lean back on I'd really love to just dominate these 4 things and whatever naturally evolves.
The ripple effect
from these 4 things.
Right. Well, even I just look at you as a basketball coach.
That's me.
Yeah, BJ.
I do that.
But you want to be great as a coach.
Sure.
Underneath that umbrella, just what you're talking about. scouting, practice.
Planning. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right, and that was kind of the thought I went to of, I'm a girls basketball coach. I want to be great at it. How do I prepare my girls? How do I make sure they're doing well? How do I make sure that we're practicing the right way? You're right, that we're scouting our opponents the right way, that we're having meals delivered when they need them before a game.
Right.
So I've just listed 5 things.
But that's all you're
one.
exactly.
Right.
You're one great thing of
Right.
coaching. Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
that was kind of the mentality I took of, man, there's a lot of little things that kind of pop up here that you don't necessarily think fall under the umbrella of, I'm a basketball coach, I want to be great at it.
Right, but it's part of it.
It's part of it. And they naturally evolve every day.
Yeah. Anything else to add?
And I was looking up on my phone because I think we had talked about the book by Randy Zuckerberg, Pick 3. Was it Wes that talked about
Is that
this?
the guy that made Facebook?
It's his sister.
Oh no, I don't know. Maybe we did.
Pick 3: work, sleep, fitness, family, and friends.
Oh yeah. Yes.
We did talk about this a while ago.
And yeah,
You can
pick
only
3. Like
focus on 3 of
in
them.
a good day, you're going to get
Right.
3 of those. So pick them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And quit being surprised that you're not getting all 5 done.
Yeah, that resonated because of my little top 3.
Top 3 things.
Whatever, call it what it is. But no, that's interesting. I forgot about that.
So wait, it was 5 things, but pick 3? Is that
Yeah, and
what are the 5 things?
And I think like her book, I think is talking about an intense time. It's like for entrepreneurs or somebody who whose time is really demanded.
right.
But yeah, work.
But it can apply to anybody. I mean,
yeah, work, sleep, fitness, family, and friends. And I like saving yourself the surprise. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't get all 400 things done today. But just to say, no, I'm going to get these things done, which means like to say yes is to say no. I think that like with prioritizing, like
Yeah,
to say yes to something,
you're saying no to other
no to
things.
something else.
Yeah.
And so to do it on purpose,
Right.
which is what that book's about.
And I think as life phases and stages change, we understand, like, everyone thinks they're busy. And then,
Have you all looked back at the previous stage of your life?
yes.
And laughed
So
at how
having
not
kids
busy?
as early as I did and finishing college as late as I did, I had, at 30, had classes with 19-year-olds telling the teacher how busy they were, which is why they couldn't turn in said whatever.
And you're laughing.
And I, at 17, 18, 19, would have had the exact same excuses.
Right.
I'm at 30 sitting there going, I was at work at 4:30 to go to my 9:30 class and then go back to work at 11:30 until probably 10 o'clock tonight. And I'm going to do this homework. Oh, and I've got 2
By
kids.
the way, I got 2 kids.
And they have practice. And they have da-da-da-da-da. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, but yeah, you look back at each phase and it's like, there's appropriate busyness at every stage. But understanding what those are, and I think the earlier you kind of maybe figure that out, the better probably. But it's we've got some bugs making
it's
noises.
a locust or something.
Yeah, it's funny to look back at previous stages. Life's so chaotic with 1 kid. Life's so chaotic with 2, 3, whatever it may be, or this job or that job. It's funny, and you get back to the whole whether I've got time or I don't have time or it's not a priority, right? Like that's really what it is. Because if it's a priority, you'll make time for it.
Yeah.
Maybe begrudgingly.
Yeah, that was a Stephen Covey thing, I think. Like he would require that you say, I choose not to do something rather than I don't have time.
Really?
I guarantee 24 hours during the day, you
Right.
chose to do something else. And he's like, that's fine, but please don't act like you don't have agency. I choose not to do that.
Oh, yeah. And I think for all of us, I mean, I can speak for myself. It's like, yeah, I want to do more things around this podcast idea or something. And then I'm like, man, I don't have time. And then it's like, wait, I just spent an hour and a half watching Netflix.
Yeah,
I just spent
I have the time.
I spent 20 minutes on Twitter or whatever, something that is so pointless and meaningless. It's like, no, you've got plenty of time. Even if it's carving, I mean, if you think about if there's something you do want to do or work on, carve out 30 minutes a day or an hour a day.
There's a lot of 30-minute chunks that if...
That's so much time.
Yeah.
So much time.
Yeah.
And so... but, yeah, so... getting things done is something that I think we all have to do. We've got to get things done, but it's how do we do it? How do we prioritize things? And what are those things? But no, I love each thing you guys talked about, the balcony, the list, BJ with the checklist, the 3 things. I think we can all take something from this, and I know I will.
Yeah, use every piece, because there's the balcony thing. I've heard that, but more like detaching from, usually in a moment of chaos or being overwhelmed, if you can detach for a second.
Respond, don't react.
Yeah. And sit there, and if you can pull away from it for just a minute, everything slows down a little bit, and you can see it all. I remember when I was coaching football and with the quarterback saying everything's happening so fast, I can't see. You take them and you put them in the press box during practice for 3 minutes and show this is exactly what you're seeing, and you see what this receiver is doing versus this lineman and this and that and that. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's so simple. And it's like, yeah, you just got to get your head above the fray for a second.
You've got more time in the pocket.
Yeah,
than
which
you
is
think.
easier said than done, no matter what. I mean, you can apply it to anything, but the perspective makes a big, big difference.
Definitely. I think we're all tired.
BJ's shirtless.
BJ's shirtless.
I'm going back for more gummy bears.
Obviously, you haven't heard from Brian in a while. But no, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys are family. I mean, I've known you all for 122 years total.
We're very old.
Each of us.
We're very old. Well, John, thanks for having us on. This has been
Thank
fun.
you guys. I appreciate it.
We'll have to do this again in a year.
Oh, I'm down. Let's do it.
So when do we get paid for this?
As soon as this goes viral.
This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. We'll be back next week.